people who talk about the history of the second liberation are, and I mean all of them. I read everything they have to say. Kenya was almost sleeping in a very bad place because of the silent majority, those who know better. But because they were so brutalized in fighting for their time, they said, like, we did our best, there's nothing that we can do. The reason why Smart Enough is called Smart Enough is because we discovered with 254 very early that Kenyans knew what was wrong. And kusema wajinga waliisha Kenya, which is a slogan, I realized bado wajinga wako. But I will not invite those wajingas in my spaces. I'm very, very deliberate about that. The reason is because the theories and the historical factors are on TV. The TVs have the responsibility to balance the people who come to their shows. So pro and co, and then by the time they finish, nasema, Redemptor aliongea kweli, 254 alimzima. That's excitement, that's entertainment. But we are in a current historic moment. We are watching history unfold. We have the liberation, the third liberation. We have the actors coming to our spaces and saying, we are going to the streets, we are saving our country, we are liberating this country. We have people like Prince Bahati who have been wounded in the process of doing that and agitating. So that's why we do not entertain wajinga waliisha. We don't entertain the wajinga. So please pardon me if I rub you off the wrong way. I've seen too many people wounded by systems. And I mention that people because what did the people of 1990, what did they have or did not have that this generation has? I know we see the picture of Martin Shikuku and Orengo on a certain pickup. The owner of that pickup died a few years ago. And I remember it was a discussion in that group. People knew him, people knew exactly what happened on that day. So what they didn't have then was enough pictures, enough pickups, enough of what AI and technology has done to this generation. So I'm not ready to debate with people the pros and cons of the old system because of those who fought. They're coming up now. They're speaking up. Itobu and Manyaras are speaking up. And there were many, the people who are the first champions of justice. We have a privilege of having one of them as our Chief Justice. Our second Chief Justice, our first Chief Justice was a human rights defender and an activist in their youth days. The other one is a churchman, good man. I like his personality. I like what he stands for. And the third one also now was in FIDA when it started. There's a reason that the people who fought for this country to be better, as the silent majority, I was one of those in my 20s. We watched. Now we have to be on the front seat. But even then, we are just acting as midwives because we don't have the energy to run in the streets. And that's why I safeguard this space so that those people who go and fight and argue with people out there, when they come here, we tell them you're not crazy. What you're feeling, you're not crazy. And today we have entertained somebody from a political party, which we avoid for the same reason. And this is what happened when I saw Wafula Buke finally go and give an interview on TV. He said we failed. He said all that fighting, all that going to prison, serving time in prison. You see people like Senator Onyonka was one of those student activists who were put in jail. And this one is confessing Wafula Buke, if I can quote him because it's on record. He says they failed because 20% of the people you are busy arguing can be your president, deputy president, 20 were on the oppressor side that time. And the responsibility the older generation has to come back and tell us about the symbolism of Saba Saba is to caution this generation. They've been quiet. I don't think in those groups we'll have people like Pasari come and discuss with that the history of Kenya, the liberation. We can't, because at one point Kenya started picking the prettiest, picking the dimples. You started picking wash people because they would come with choppers and they would impress you. And the thinkers of this nation and the spiritual people of this nation went to slumber. And that's the conscience that has been awakened. It's a conscience of a nation. So it's not just the young people who are awakened. It's been in a lull for a lot of the older people because they're overwhelmed by the wash, the looks, because social media has the negative side. We started following people 001 because he looks fine, he wears expensive glasses, he does that. We started following that and we stopped listening to the inner voice. And I think now everyone is listening to the inner voice. And so I say the spirit of Saba Saba, the sellouts ended up getting positions. And I think the older generation is cautioning us very quietly, but they have to be more emphatic. When we talk about DOs, and a young man that just came here and is telling us Gachagua is all round, he doesn't understand who a DO was. So it's our responsibility to tell you the difference, that it is not the people who agitated for the second liberation that sat in power. And yes, we say the same about Mau Mau. May this be the generation that changes that. And I like that people come, they are good looking, they speak good English, you get excited about them, you give them a lot of money because they are eloquent, then they get tired and they fall out. It's because the awakening that is in this country, you cannot fake it. And it's good for you to say, you know what, I cannot fight with the systems that be. I like the way things work. People go to Arambis, people do this. If you are there, please, this is not the space for you. And I'm sorry, even if I'm going to talk to 50 people, I'd rather talk to 50 active citizens who would go there and educate people, rather than have 1,000 people where we are just enjoying each other. Oh, I was in the Mandamano. I even got shot on the leg. I almost went to State House, but there was a funny spirit. And the discernment inside me knows that person is lying. Or somebody who comes and sits on the fence and you can never know what they stand for. Or you are hearing a big English words. I am in groups where people type a lot. So I'm not interested in English. What I'm interested in is the resilience of the human spirit, the resilience of a Kenyan, the good heart of a Kenyan. Forget about the Mukora Kenyan. Because tuko kwa system ya matapeli economy ya fuliza, system ya majambas. It has to come to an end. That's why we speak. That's why we speak truth to power every day. And Marabu stock, you can be assured because of technology, people are not forgetting the things that are being done behind the scenes. We will never forgive this parliament. Personally, I will never forgive this parliament. I actually call it put the question parliament, because that's all they do. Just put the question, no discussions. And so I hope that generation, that fraction of people who think it's okay to stick to status quo, I hope they find a nice little corner. Please don't get over tempted to think just because people give TV interviews, and I have nothing about Matiang'i. I think Marabu says munataka mtu anakuja anaongea na a lot of, we saw that with Morara. Now I can talk about them because they have retired. When I tried to say don't get excited, people said I am beating on people. The other day someone came and said stop beating on so and so. They raised 30 million. So what? That 30 million came from people. So it is you who gave money who feels the need to defend that person. How about the person who died? How about the person who is wounded? How about the person who lives with the trauma of being abducted or shot? Those are the people I celebrate, and I'm very intentional because I celebrate unsung heroes. That's my. I don't go for the popular. I don't go for the big wigs because they come and insult us, and we are good because they have told someone off. I won't even mention some of the names that I remember the videos that used to go the rounds. Ukikuja will tell people off sana. Sasa wewe ndio una trend. That's not what we are doing, Marabu. We are going to listen to one another because there's so much wisdom when we sit together. I really, really get encouraged when I hear someone like Marabu or Justice for All come and speak, or even Indres who's new in this space. And Esther, please come, keep coming back to talk to us, because this is a place we re-energize ourselves. And the week has been very tough and we think evil is winning. I keep telling people, oh, somebody asked me a question. Kama nyumba foundation ilikuwa mbaya, what do you do? And this thing you call system, in very simple language, is just evil. You'll try to fantasize about it, the foundation of Kenya. And 254, people come and say that for 5 minutes, and you ask yourself, sasa ametuambia nini? Oh, Kenyatta ilianza in Kenyatta. We can't go back in time and change time. We can rebuild on what we have. So kama nyumba imeboromoka na we have to start it from the ground, so be it. I think this generation is ready for it. I am glad that I have birthed a child in this generation, and I'm also sad because they need a lot of energy and they need our support. So anybody who is getting excited about the old politicians, I will not join you. I know the person who is going to come will shock everyone, because something in us will tell us this is the person. And I will be the first one to shout from these spaces that let's vote for this person at the right time. For now, I just encourage people keep speaking, because we are living in Subaru days. In Dangwin this week, I dedicate my talk as we end the week to that young man who actually shared with us executive orders that he would give. And I know he might never come to space again. I don't think his family would let him. The lawyer would tell him, don't talk again. But the things that we exchange, we take notes. People think we don't take notes. We notice people. Whatever dream he had for this country that has put him in harm's way, we will be sure to represent it at the right time. Anybody who wants to be the president will say, this is what Danguin told us might work if we implement this. And many other people out there who are being very courageous. I saw Peter Moteti come back online. We'll try and find these young people who went through abductions, because sometimes we think about the ones who died, but some people live with very, very unhealed wounds of any liberation. So I thank you for coming to talk about the symbolism of Saba Saba. I'm sure the young people are in spaces talking about how they'll go to the streets. I do not join those conversations. One, for self-preservation. I don't want to be told I'm the one mobilizing young people. I want people's children to die. But every time they Saba Saba, my own children, my nephews and nieces are out there. Na nashikilianga matumbo mpaka nasema, oh God, siniuawe mimi badala ya mtoto wangu wauawe. And I feel that for young people of this nation. We respect you. We love you. We have a bad relationship. We want to work on that relationship. And to the young people who are being lied to by people like me, the Pasaris of the world. Somebody talked, I had a Demba talk on TV, and he said, you people are the future, and these people are dictating your future, yet 15 years from now, Baba will not be here. Even if he will be here, he will not be coherent. And yet he's the one saying, let's go this direction. So we respect them, we supported them, we voted for them, but young people of Kenya, rise up and defend your future. Defend your now, defend your future. We cannot have any more bloodshed in this country. Hiyo nyumba itajengwa na siku moja tutaiconvert into something. Or the courageous Kenyans will go to court on Monday, will work very hard. We want to find out who that architect is. I don't like to salimia people, but there are some I'm really tempted, like this one asalimiwe, because you're defrauding a whole nation. You know you're building a house in public land without public participation. The laws of this nation you're breaching. And please God, oh, this one I have to say, we are witnessing human rights being abused. Are they going to abuse God's right as well? Please God, don't let it happen. Those of us who believe in you, we are really praying to Ondole. This cup is too heavy for us. Especially when we see people mock God. They tell us, I'm bowling, you're poor. The reason we are poor is because you're taking away our resources. So, hii pepo mbaya itashindwa. Asanteni sana wa Kenya. Let's hope Saba Saba is not going to be another bloodshed. Let's hope that these people learn to respect what happened 30 years ago in 1990 is happening. They are trying to stop the hand of time. The cycle of auto reset, we are here. Change is here. It's painful, but it's here. We don't know what we are doing. We keep saying 254, but we keep doing it nevertheless, guided by that calling in our hearts. Whom shall I send? Go thee and save your nation. Naona Japonji umetoa mic wapi? Nilikuwa nishapeana a very big sermon. So I hope, Japonji, we can meet on Wednesday. You tell us what happened in the space about mental illness of the person in the big office. Japonji, do you want to say something? I'm about to end the
Sorry,
space.
I'm very sorry, Redemptor. You see, there's something about these spaces. I was invited to a few spaces. I just finished the space, and it was very positive. I can always report. I'm always in spaces in the evening, and a lot of you people, you always organize these spaces at the same time. I don't know if you've realized that. And some of them I always listen to them after recording. So sorry about that. I know I missed a lot. I will listen to everything that people say. But having said that, I just realized also that Morara is back again to politics. That is the WhatsApp. And Redemptor, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a very good job. Yeah. Morara just said that he cannot just stand and watch the country go down. So I don't know his tactic, but he's coming back. And I was just wondering which Kenyan cannot feel what we are feeling to just stand aside and watch. Keep doing what you're doing. We are in this together. Just as I know I missed your contribution, I wish I could have listened to that. And it's always great being here. And I like the way you control the mic and everything, especially in your space here. There's always a lot of respect, and the way people respond to mic and all that. So I learn a lot in these spaces, and it has uh, put me to the next level. Marabou's talks and a lot of familiar faces here. Elida, I'm just from, I was within another space, I see Billy Mwang, all these people, we are becoming a family, one family who stand. We want the betterment of this country, guys. Some of us are not on the ground, but we do our best. We love our country. Our kids are there. Our family are there. We just, everybody, we are just united by this common thing to make Kenya a better place. We don't care even who is in the leadership. We just want, we go to the hospital and things work. Our kids to go to school and find the right education. That is what, how much we owe them. We are not just here for fun. Some of us sacrifice a lot of time, and you know that. We could have been doing better things, writing online, earning those $10 per hour or per minute. All those things. But we just decide and choose to be here. It's a lot of sacrifice, and I know it's very hard, Redemptor. I know you sacrifice a lot of your time to be here, and I respect that. I really respect that. Me, I don't know how you people stay hosting these spaces for long. I don't know. It's very difficult. Thank you a lot, guys, and please let's keep doing this. Let's not give up. Keep hope alive, and thank you so much for this opportunity, Redemptor. God bless.
Thank you very much. You've just reminded me, I think why the silent majority, the people who fought for the second liberation, why they were quiet, they thought you'd be silent. They thought, wataua watu, and then, but a year later, this is just continues to pick momentum. I know the spaces have come back. 254, we struggle because we've been doing this for a year now, almost a year. And so when we see people host space, we're like, they are new, they don't know this is a habit for us. We do this on Wednesdays and Saturdays, even when we don't feel like that. Tomorrow I will gather the canvas. And the reason why I want to hold the space on a Sunday is so that they know I have intentions of holding a canvas space, not for tribal conversations, but it's enough of being used as canvas because they're not even bothering coming to our places, but the young people want to have a conversation. So I know there's this clash of how many people are holding a space, but even if I talk to 10 people and those 10 people are going to change Kenya, I'd rather talk in a small space that makes sense. So I understand people wanting to space hop. I don't space hop. I just hold space. I speak but I speak for the underdogs, for the ones who are downtrodden and forgotten. That's my special group. And so when I see the big wigs coming back, they hold a big space. I say, okay, you have your own audience. Mine is for the people who are on the ground, the people who feel this very painfully. And I think you all know, seeing that group in Homa Bay healed our hearts. And then you see the flag on that coffin of a 31-year-old man. When that hits you as a mother, as a citizen, even you as a young person, a 31-year-old man has died for posting something on social media, then you have no choice but to keep coming back to space. I'm sure that's why, Marabu, you come and share your wisdom. The spiritual part of this conversation, I'll never stop talking, that they are feeling power is slipping from their hands because the silent majority are beginning to speak up slowly by slowly. Kenya is going to change. Asanteni sana, msiogope. We are fighting from a point of victory because we are fighting for the now and the future of this country. God bless Kenya. Thank you, 254. Tell your wife apologies from this space. We didn't think we would stay this long, and thank you for doing this, even when you should be spending time with your family. I am doing this for family. That's the difference. I'm an older person. So, asanteni sana to the young people who trust me with their pain, with their struggles. I don't have the answers, but if you're feeling it's too hard for you, please hang in there. Help is on the way. Asanteni.